Hello everybody and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. So today I want to talk about a topic that I've been wanting to cover on this channel for a little bit now. For a little while, been thinking about this and really trying to collect my thoughts for this topic. And that is, when did LEGO games begin to change? Now, I originally was going to title this video, when did LEGO games begin to fall? As in, like, kind of, people lost a little more interest and, LEGO games kind of changed in a way that was worse. But when I really think about it, I don't think they got worse. I don't think they definitely changed. They definitely have a whole different change in, like, the vibe of LEGO games nowadays. But I don't think they really, like, fell or, failed, in my opinion, because I still enjoy the LEGO games that come out even today. So, generally what I got it down to was, like, the 2015 to 2016 range, which is kind of where the LEGO games were kind of, were starting to change a little bit more. Of course, we have our classics, the Complete Saga, LEGO Batman 1, LEGO Indiana Jones. Those are all classic LEGO games that so many people played, and I personally enjoyed heavily. So good. I remember playing them on the Nintendo Wii, and just amazing, amazing LEGO games. And, LEGO games were only building from there. I mean, in 2012, we got the first ever LEGO game with a full-blown open world, and in this case, it was Gotham City with LEGO Batman 2. What an amazing LEGO game. And that also brought in the Justice League, they brought in Superman. Oh my god, what an amazing LEGO game. And then, of course, that was followed up by LEGO Marvel, which I think was 2013, I believe, and that just absolutely changed the game for LEGO games. No pun intended, I guess. Actually, that wasn't even a pun anyways. And that was where, we had, I think it was, at that point, updated graphics, I would think, because it looked much better than regular LEGO games. And, they brought in all these Marvel characters. I mean, they brought in X-Men, they brought in Fantastic Four, Avengers, like, incredible characters. Really, really great games. And then, 2014, then 2015 comes around, and that 2015 is when, I think it was Dimensions came out, right? That was, late 2015 was when LEGO Dimensions started. Personally, I love LEGO Dimensions. I know a lot of people are not crazy about that game because of just how expensive it was, but I enjoyed collecting it. I just treated it like another LEGO theme to collect. But the 2015 to 2016 range is kind of when I think LEGO games were starting to change a little bit, become, what's the word here? I guess, I wouldn't say formulaic, but just, like, less exciting when they were announced. I mean, I was still excited, but I just think for, like, the general public, it was a little bit less exciting to kind of, hear that a LEGO game was coming out, just because of the things that they were deciding to make LEGO games off of. For example, the Force Awakens video game, they made one LEGO Star Wars Force Awakens game just based off of that one movie, and they made 10 levels off of, I don't know, how long was that movie? Like, maybe maybe a little bit more than 2 hours? Actually, maybe closer to 2.5, actually. I don't remember exactly how long the Force Awakens was, but 10 levels off of, 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours, that's a lot of stuff, and some of the levels in that game were not the best, and I would say personally, but that's just kind of my opinion anyways. And that Force Awakens, kind of like after that Force Awakens video game of 2016, I think people would say it started, around, that time with Force Awakens in 2016, as well as Marvel Avengers, because I didn't know this until, I don't know, maybe fairly recently, to be honest with you. People really didn't enjoy Marvel Avengers as much, LEGO Marvel Avengers. I'm not saying everybody, like, despised it or anything, but a lot of people weren't as excited. That wasn't the best LEGO game, I guess, it turns out, which is surprising, because Avengers is MCU is such a big property, and I would think the Avengers game would be amazing, but a lot of people weren't too crazy about it. I enjoyed it personally, but I know a lot of people who weren't crazy about that game. I have some friends as well who weren't very crazy about Marvel Avengers either, and that was interesting, very interesting. So I would say the 2015 and 2016 games, I enjoyed LEGO Star Wars before. I mean, I enjoy every LEGO game, to be honest with you, except for LEGO Movie 2. LEGO Movie 2, the video game, despise that game. That game's bad. I don't like that one. But the Force Awakens game, I see the complaints. I mean, the open worlds were fairly small. And the level design was a little bland, I guess, but I was fine with it. I enjoyed it. It was just another Lego game to play, and 100%, and it was a lot of fun for me. Same thing with Avengers. I think they did great with their open world. I thought having, the kind of very similar Manhattan world from the other Marvel game, the Lego Marvel Superheroes, I think it was, and having that same Manhattan world coming back into this game, as well as expanding out to other places, I thought was a great idea, and kind of having like little smaller open worlds as well to explore was an amazing idea. Really enjoyed it, and I really liked that open world. I thought the characters weren't as good as Lego Marvel Superheroes, but the Avengers characters were still very, very cool. And then also the levels. The levels were a big thing. The levels I thought were good, but there were other Lego games that definitely had better Lego game levels. So, but yeah, I thought they were fine. Like they were just levels based off of the movies, which was fine for me, I guess. But anyways, I personally was fine with the 2015 2016 games, but I definitely I also as I would say many people have, saw the kind of change. Now I'm going to talk about all the Lego games that came after 2016. So of course we had Lego Marvel Avengers, which again wasn't taken too well, not the best Lego game in people's opinions, as well as Star Wars: The Force Awakens. People weren't crazy about that one either. And then you move into 2017, we had the Lego Ninjago movie video game, which was kind of a different style, a different weirder style, not the traditional kind of Lego game. And it wasn't personally my favorite. I don't know how else or how other people all took it, but it was a lot of there was no real traditional Lego game levels in that game. It was more of just exploring the open world and kind of unlocking areas in the open world to get. And I wasn't too crazy of a fan of that. I like traditional Lego game levels. Same thing, actually not same thing. Sorry, I take that back. Then there was Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, which personally I did not enjoy. I'm not crazy about Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. And that's not just because I'm a DC fan, or, bigger DC fan than Marvel, but just something about that game, I wasn't crazy about it. The levels I wasn't really crazy about. The character grid was insane. The characters in that game were good. I like the characters in that game. And also the open world, I don't know about it, but just combining a bunch of different places, I wasn't really cool with. I didn't like that much. But then there was the Lego Incredibles game, which, if I'm not mistaken, people really weren't crazy about either. I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of a fun Lego game. Very, much smaller in scale Lego game compared to Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, but I enjoyed it. And then actually this game was good. Lego DC Supervillains, surprisingly really good Lego game. I super enjoyed this Lego game. I remember thinking oh man, this is probably going to be like Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, but it was not. Very, very different. Really good Lego game. I love that one. That's a good game. And then, of course, Lego Movie 2, the video game. Man, really bad. I hate that game. That's easily the worst Lego game, in my opinion. But yeah, there was just these Lego games that felt different from, the kind of style that we had in previous ones, like Lego Batman 3, Lego Marvel, the original Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Batman 2, and, all the original games. So I guess you could kind of divide it up into eras of Lego games, sort of. You have your 2000, I guess in this case it would be 2007, I would say, was where it started, because it would be the complete saga, all the way up until, I don't know, probably 2010 with Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4, and that was kind of the originals, sort of. Then from 2011, starting with the Star Wars: The Clone Wars game, all the way up until I would say 2013 with Lego Marvel Superheroes. Then, of course, 2013 Lego Marvel Superheroes, all the way to probably I would say Lego Dimensions, I guess in this case, sort of. Yeah, I would say Lego Dimensions in 2015. Then, starting this new era of Lego games would be Lego Marvel Avengers up until 2019 with Lego Movie 2. And then, of course, the next era, the next phase would be Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which definitely changed the game for Lego games, because it was just game breaking. You know what I mean? Then because of this recent track record, where basically with the Skywalker Saga they just changed everything. So yeah, that was basically what I'm kind of talking about here. Is maybe not when did Lego games fall, when did Lego games change, but kind of dividing up the Lego games that have come out in the past, what has it been, 15 years, into different like sections and different eras and different phases, I guess, in this case, very similar to the MCU, to be honest with you. And that's kind of how I see Lego games nowadays, is that they're all in like different phases, different eras, different styles, and a lot of those styles were, used in all the games of that time. Then they changed to a different style and go with, with those games for that time and change. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that was basically what I was kind of wanting to talk about with this. And I finally, as I'm recording this video, I figured out what like the real kind of thing I'm actually looking for is not when Lego games began to fall or change, but where were the changes in like the eras and the styles of Lego games. So either way, there you go. If you enjoyed that video, do the coming YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.